welcome to my channel. I'm sorry I haven't put up videos lately. It's been the holidays and New Year's and all that stuff. But one of the knife tags that was going around that I didn't participate in, and I'm going to start doing right now, is show us 10 USA made knives. Now, in the preparation for this video, I started gathering up knives, and I was at 9, and I could have done a duplicate and made it 10 when I realized Essie's made in USA. So I went over it basically with these, but I'm still just going to show 10 USA made knives. Now, these first two were given to me, and they were my first experience with Essie's. So this is an Essie 5, and it's a tank of a knife. I mean, if you ever watched Joe X, he was unable to break the tip on this knife, and Joe's Joe will break any knife. He broke the knife, but it took him a while. I like that one. I like the this one it has a saber grind to it, and it's better for if you like to baton wood and stuff like this. This is pretty much it's not the greatest slicing knife and everything, just because of the thickness of it and it all, but it is durable. All right. At the same time, I was also sent the SE6. And for an all-around knife and everything, I prefer the SE6. I like the way it feels. It's a little bit thinner. It's a longer blade. It carries, it seems way less than this one in the sheath. And it's just a great all-around knife. One of my favorite Essies that I carry quite a lot is the SE3. Right here, I just took that coating off so I could strike a ferro rod on it. But yeah, with the addition of this little leather attachment thing that I put on it, it allows me to cross-draw carry this thing right here at my waist. So if I need a knife, I can just bam, and it's there. I really enjoy that. I really like carrying this knife. All right, let's get some more. Had to raise the camera up for this. All right, Ontario Knife Company. Unfortunately, as you know, they went out of business and were sold. And from my experience, whenever a knife company that's been a knife company gets sold to somebody who's not a knife company or whatever, the knife itself, if they continue making them, tend to go downhill. They're not as good. It's not always that way. But here's the SP5 Survival Bowie. This is a great all-around, really long knife, you know. It's an unsharpened swedge up here, which is good if you're going to baton, but I'd still baton in the thicker part because this is going to tend to chop up your batoning thing. Just feels great in hand. The sheath is okay. It's nothing to write home about. It tends to be a little bit thicker probably than leather would be, but it has excellent retention on it, and MOLLE capable, you know, connections and everything. So yeah, that's a good one. Then we have, of course, the SP10. Now, I put a convex edge on this right here, but this is a great all-around. It's kind of like in between the inexpensive buoys and the expensive ones, because these used to be going around $50 or so, and I don't know what they're going for now, if you can find them, because, you know, everybody started buying Ontario knives But the Raider buoy is a nice one. This right here is metal crossguard instead of rubber that you find on some imitations. All right, I could pull out another Ontario Knife Company, but this is a great, this was the second, but it's a, see, made in USA. Big old butcher knife. I think this one's a 14-inch. There's 12 inches. Maybe 13. Nope, 14. So yeah, if you're going to do a lot of butchering, this is the way to go. All right, so that's OKC. And of course, case. Now here's the case buoy. Yeah, I don't keep them super shiny and special. This is my user. I've got another one that's black handled. That it's a display model basically. I look at it. It's up there on the wall, and anytime I want to see a buoy, all I have to do is look up at the wall, and it's on display in the case that it comes in. This just feels great in my hand. For some people, you know, with bigger hands, this might crowd you and everything, but for me, as you can see, I could even have another finger in there if I was like a 6-finger person. Just a great knife. Oh, I'm really glad that I got, you know, that one was given to me also. Here's another great case knife. This is their, I think it's about a 5-inch blade. Yeah. What this one reminds me of is the K-bar that I grew up with. This is a little bit bigger than that. Let me just pull that one in here while I'm at it. Now this K-bar is the one that I used when I was a kid. And, you know, if we were going to go hunting, this was the one that I always carry. It says USA, but the blade itself might have been made in Japan. I'm not sure. But it says K-bar USA, so I'm just going to include that one as one. But there's no jimping up here, you know, compared to, as you can see, this was excellent as a kid's knife. It still fits my hand. But you can see the case is, you know, more substantial in the hand, and just a little bit longer blade, but very similar, jimping here, but very similar type of knife. Let's see, what does that number say? 365-5. That's the case. And this guy, I don't know what he's called, like a little bird and trout or Skinner or whatever, but yeah, that was my knife. This is not the original sheath. I just bought another sheath for it. I don't know what happened to the original sheath. Got destroyed or chewed up or something. So yeah, there you go. Case and K-bar. The Gerber Mark II. I used to have a Gerber Mark I, and it went to my ex-wife when I got a divorce. But yeah, this is one of the earlier ones, and I had to take off rust and stuff off this because this thing was in pristine condition until I moved back to Texas. I forgot how humid everything Texas was. I almost sold this knife when I was selling all my knives and stuff. I tried to sell this knife, and they didn't take it because they said the sheath was not original. And I told them, hey, I bought it from the manufacturer, you know. I bought it from a site that doesn't substitute stuff. And they said, no, it's not original because, you see, if you pull this out, it could cut that edge right there. It is original. The person that didn't know, you know, that was going to buy it didn't know that, but it did me a favor because I didn't want to get rid of this knife. whenever you get down to where you're selling stuff in your collection that you really like, it's usually a pretty rough time in your life. And that's no exception there. But fortunately, I was able to hold on to this one from my original collection. I didn't let it go. I have a Gerber Guardian hiding somewhere that I was going to include in here, but I can't find it, and I'm not going to look for it. I'll go crazy trying to look for stuff. All right, I've lost count, so if I get over 10, I know I'm going to make at least 10. And if I get over 10, hey, that's just the way it goes. This is another knife that I carried quite a lot, a buck 121 when I was a kid. The handles are kind of slippery, not just kind of, you know, I mean, even without, there's not a whole lot of texture to them. They do have little finger grooves and everything, and it's got this, you know, bird's head back here to keep your hand from sliding up, and halfway decent guard up here, nothing super crazy. But yeah, this is kind of, my dad kind of called it a fillet knife, but it's not really as flexible as a fillet knife. And of course, you see here's a dog chewed on it at one time, but this is the original sheath. That wasn't a rat or anything, that was a dog. Yeah, that's another one from my childhood. Now this one I'm not sure, maybe this is why I included extra one. Ah, Japan, right there. See, it says Miami, USA. So the blade might have been made in Japan and it assembled in the United States, but this is just a little Valor boot knife. I had originally spray painted everything black on this to make it tactical, and recently I took the paint off, and it has a great wooden leather stack handle in there. Right, that's those. And of course, the Air Force survival knife, or pilot's knife, jet pilot knife, or whatever you want to call it. The Camillus. Where is that tank stamp? There it is. New York, USA. This was one I was going to double because I have two of them. I was going to put the new one in there, but I thought, you know what? I like this one a little bit better than the brand new one, just because this one has character. And somebody carried it quite a bit. And I really like this one. And this size of knife really fits my hand well. I've always liked this one a little bit better, just the blade shape and the stuff of it, than the K-bar. The K-bar was just a little bigger than what I needed, but anyway, yeah, I sold the K-bar when I sold everything. But I kept that. I kept the one that I had, but I had it in the back of my Jeep, and my Jeep had still does have a water leak, and it rotted the handle out and the leather. And I thought I kept it because there was nothing wrong. It was just a little bit of rust. I could have redone the leather and everything, but somehow it got thrown away. Either fell in the trash by accident or on purpose. Bayonet. This one is an Imperial M7 bayonet. These things work well. They not only fit a AR-15 or M16, they'll also fit. I used to have a Mossberg 590A1 with a heat shield and everything, and a bayonet attachment, and this fit on it perfectly. I got this one after I got out of the military. I traded. It was like in 1980 something, 84, 85. I traded a Marine for this. I don't remember what I traded him. Maybe I bought it. So there you go. I think that's 10. If that's not, that was more than 10. But you know, there's one that might be an exception. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.